Okay, here for the daily with Isabel. It's been a while, hasn't it?
It has. I've had a very busy summer, but happy to be back.
Very good. Well, good to see you again. I see
Mhm.
you've been posting on your channel. Talk about United,
Yes.
reacting to United's wonderful performance against Brighton. Good
It
stuff, wasn't
was
it?
great. It was so good.
Warms the cockles of your heart or
Hmm.
something. Yeah.
Exactly.
Felt extremely familiar. All right, today we're going to talk about Hannibal Mejbri, the Tunisian international who is leaving United on a permanent deal after 5 years with the club. How do we feel about this one?
Yeah, look, if I'm being honest, I think it's probably time. I think it was a deal that needed to be done. I think it's the right time. Obviously, he came to us a couple of years ago. Um, and yeah, it just never quite worked at Manchester United. I think obviously he, played in the first team a couple times, came on. And look, I will, hats off to Hannibal because I think he always came on and fought for the badge. He looked very good, was prone to a card, but look, I thought he was good. I just don't think he was ever really going to fit into this Manchester United team. I think in the position that he plays, there was people, other players who would play before him. So I think this is the right move. And to Burnley, I'd say it's a pretty decent move for him.
Yeah, so 5 years at United. He
Mm,
came as a sort of creative number 10, and
yeah.
then he went to Birmingham on loan after a couple of years, and so played a couple of years in the reserves. He joined United very young, at 16 or something, and they sort of tried to turn him into a number 8.
Mm.
And where I guess his sort of combative qualities rather than his technical qualities they were after. So he loves to come on and kick someone, doesn't he? Loves a card. Just always has.
Yeah.
Do you remember the time he came on against Liverpool for about 10 minutes and immediately kicked 2 players, which is always good.
We loved it, watching it,
Yeah,
but
it was a great
it was
moment.
great.
There was another brilliant one when I think he was playing for the reserves, where quite early in his time, where he runs up to the ref to suggest another player should be given a card. He calls the other player over, and he's doing this, and then he gets a booking himself. Just
Yeah.
classic Hannibal, that was. Yeah,
He's a funny
I,
player.
I guess it's kind of symptomatic of the player though that we're talking about his. Him booting Liverpool players and getting cards rather than his sort of technical qualities, which really never kind of came through. Even though at 16, you look at him, and you go, "Wow, he could be a real player."
That's it. I mean, look, he's always been a decent player. I just don't think it's worked for him at Manchester United in terms of probably the way that we all wanted to. He's good. He's very direct. He's aggressive, which is what you want to see at Manchester United, I think. He's got, pace. It just never worked out. I think we wanted to see more from Hannibal. I definitely did anyway, but I think last couple of seasons with him trying to come through just never worked. And obviously with the loans coming in as well, he never really got much of a game. So yeah, I just think it's the right choice letting him go. I think it's the right decision.
Yeah, he played a lot of games at Burnley, but
Yeah,
sorry, at Birmingham
yeah,
on loan. But it was a weird one where they, as I say, they tried to convert him to a number 8, and then he went to Sevilla
mhm,
last January, and it was a loan with an option at 20 million euros to buy him, and he got into a fight with one of his teammates. So goes the story in
mhm.
training. So and basically never played again. So he had like 3 games at Sevilla. And managed to piss the manager off so much that he was basically frozen out. It's the worst kind of loan possible, really.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm not surprised though. He gives off the vibe that he'd probably do something like that. He's like I said, he's aggressive, isn't he? In good ways and bad ways.
Yeah, I think it was something like he put a tackle in on the club striker, and he didn't like it, and the manager picked the established player over the younger player, which you kind of understand. And
Mm.
yeah, you know, 20 million, always 20 million euros as an option always seemed a little much. So anyway, let's talk about the finances of this one a little bit, because it kind of plays into a summer of restructuring these deals slightly differently. So it's 5.4 million up front with another 4 million of potential bonuses. It's a permanent sale, not a loan with an option or an obligation or anything like that. And it includes both a buyback clause should he like establish himself and become brilliant at Burnley, and a sell-on clause, which United have inserted into pretty much all their sales this summer. So how do you feel about this kind of change in tactics on sales?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's awful. I think it's good. I think a permanent move is the right decision rather than a loan. Obviously, he's had the loans. It's not worked out really. So the permanent move on that level, I think it's good. Money wise, of course, we always want more, but I think it's decent, and obviously he's still got a year on his contract with us. So I think it's fine. I think it had to be done. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I think we've seen a pattern with younger player sales
Mm,
in England where if they haven't really got much or any first team football, they can go for quite high fees based on the potential.
yeah.
And we've seen this at City and even Chelsea to some extent, but especially City. I
Mm,
mean, they sold James Trafford for 20 million and he never played a minute.
yeah.
And but if they've had some time and not really proven themselves to be very good, it really drops the value. And I suspect that's kind of what's happened here. So we're selling him for less than we bought him, but after 5 years at the club and the fact that they did the contract extension in January, the 1 year contract extension means that his book value is reset to zero, and so this is pure profit. And so from a PR perspective, I mean, it can only be booked when it's actually realized. So it's 5.4 million. The options will come into different years, presumably. 5.4 million over a 5 year contract, that's worth a 25 million pound player, right? So it pays for half of Ugarte this year. It's not awesome, but it is something.
It's something, and I feel like we'll take it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a wider picture about all the sales, right? They Willie Kwambala was the kind of same deal, where low fee with a sell-on clause. Mason Greenwood, obviously, higher fee, massive sell-on clause, and that's actually pure. That's all profit. So if Greenwood, rather than just above the sale price, so if Greenwood was sold for 30 million, if he sold on for 50 million, United will get 50% of that 50 million. Which is like some deal they've struck
Yeah.
there. I mean, maybe I don't know what you think. Maybe it's a sign of like increasing professionalism at the club that they seem to be selling better.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. It's nice to actually, see this transfer window being put to use. I feel like we've not seen that over the last couple of years. It's been not lazy deals, but I know last season summer transfer window it wasn't awful. Obviously, we brought in some good players, but I feel like this season we've brought in the players that we really needed. We've sold the players that we don't need. I think it's just a little bit. It's not closure, but I feel like it's kind of the start of seeing Ineos over or under Manchester United, and yeah, I think it's good. I think these deals we want to see, so I like that it's happening. Really,
Yeah, I mean, they appear to have executed more deals than was ever done before,
yeah,
and they've set their targets and they've gone after them. And like rightly or wrongly, whether we like the players to come in or not, or we think they're a tactical fit or not, or whatever, they seem to have a very clear strategy in place. I would say Ten
that's it.
Hag says what he wants. The deal
Hmm.
makers go out and strike the deals. Ten Hag says who he doesn't want. Deal makers are going to head out and strike those deals too. And so, I mean, it's Hannibal today. We've seen obviously Greenwood, Cambuala. Who else has left?
Palestri,
Palestri has left. That's another similar size deal with the
yeah,
same structure as well with the sell on. Almost certainly we're going to see, it looks like Victor Lindelof will go. And then
Scott.
obviously Scott McTominay and Jadon Sancho, the really big ones
Hmm.
to come this week. And it looks like Scott McTominay is into negotiations with Napoli. So it
Yeah,
seems like you said yes, which I think could be a great move for it. I don't know if you've ever been to Naples.
no,
Fantastic city. You're going to have
really,
a great time. As long as he doesn't eat too much pizza, because they do the best pizza anywhere. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it could be a really good move for him. Feels like him and Antonio Conte are probably a good stylistic fit.
mm.
And then Jadon Sancho, and it's for another pod, but it looks like we might be actually, according to the Telegraph this morning, we're actually negotiating with them for a potential swap with Raheem Sterling. I thought this was a joke when I saw it, but it appears to be
It's
real.
Yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about that one, but Sancho, I think, needs to go. But obviously, if Scott does leave, Ugarte coming in. I'm excited about this one, and it looks like it's pretty much a done deal. He posted the eyes emoji, and I was like, oh, okay. Like, I think this is gonna happen. It looks like it is.
Fabrizio Romano has really created a language on Twitter with emojis. He'll get 20,000 likes for a flag and eyes and a heart or something, and it has again another topic really, but it's my level of respect for him has dropped somewhat.
Really?
He's farming the engagement, isn't he, for money?
I guess.
With no journalistic value, and he's just posting emojis, but making money out of it. But anyway, that's fine. Good for him.
He's happy.
Yeah, whatever. He knows what he is, and he's doing it. But yes, it looks like the Ugarte deal is done, bar taking the photographs and doing the social media posts. Yeah, well, they used to delay deals by a week under the old regime, where they would have to do the social video, and that was more important than the actual player. But I suspect this will get done Wednesday or Thursday in time for registering him against Liverpool, where he can kick some Scousers. So.
Well, let's hope so. I mean, would he start? I don't know.
Unlikely.
I know.
Ten Hag doesn't seem to think like that.
No.
He seems to, he lets the established players screw up, and then he'll boot them out.
Basically.
So anyway, I mean, topic of the day was Hannibal, but Ugarte is got very similar feistiness. He covers a lot of ground. He's very physical. Yeah, one of the great quotes that he's given that I really liked was, he said, "Every football match is a fight," and we like that. His passing's not awesome, but it seems to be what Ten Hag actually wants from central midfield. He doesn't seem to want really actually a creative player in there. So, I mean, he'll replace Hannibal, but he's more established and better.
Yeah.
And
it's win-win, I guess.
Win-win, yeah. What do you think about because Burnley are now managed by Scott Parker, who's really achieved almost nothing in his managerial career, and didn't achieve that much in his football career, to be honest. He was an all right player, but it's a big change from Vincent Kompany, sort of Pep Guardiola disciple, to Scott Parker, kind of championship level manager.
Yeah, do you know what? I think, to be honest, I'm surprised Vincent Kompany didn't do better at Burnley. I thought he'd kind of be that upcoming manager, but it just never really happened. I mean, Burnley last season, not good. I thought they'd be better, to be honest, but it just didn't happen. So look, maybe Scott Parker can do better. Hopefully, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, well, Kompany got them promoted and then played exactly the same football, and
just didn't work.
They weren't physical enough,
strong enough.
Basically, yeah. I mean, they went from being uber physical under Dyche, and that's all they had, to being tippy tappy, Pep style team without the actual quality to really pull it off. So I don't know. Kompany got his first win as Bayern manager at the weekend. It's being great coach is one thing. It's managing the politics at Bayern is completely different.
I think that I'm still shocked at that move. I mean, to me that's mad. But look, maybe he'll work there. I don't know. But I think Hannibal will add to Burnley. I think he'll be good for Burnley. So I'll keep an eye on him, see what he's like.
I mean, he's good thing he's not good enough for Manchester United, but he's too good a player as an actual player to play in the Championship, and you'd think he'd be able to stand out there. Yeah. I mean, obviously, 3 years ago at Birmingham, he was pretty good, but he's got 3 years more experience now. He's got a lot of international experience, so I'd imagine he'll be a very good buy for them. And he's pretty cheap.
Yeah.
Even by Championship standards these days. So yeah, why not? He should get to kick his career on. So if you look at what happened to Tahith Chong and Ted and Mengi, who both went to Luton, their careers have kicked on. I mean, I know Luton got relegated, but they both had good seasons at Luton. And I think they've both stayed there, unless I missed the transfer, but I think they're both still there. But they're establishing their careers, and if they keep playing well, they'll get a bigger move and more money and enhance their career and all of that. And Hannibal has got exactly the same opportunity.
That's it, isn't it? And I think Burnley, Hannibal's a physical player. I think that it's probably what Burnley needs. So yeah, hopefully he can, do the same at Burnley. Hope he's good.
Yeah, good for him. We'll
Mm-hmm.
always have booting a couple of Scousers to remember him by.
Exactly.
Yeah, so. All right, that's the daily for today. We'll be back with a midweek pod tomorrow or Thursday, and probably another short one of these when Ugarte signs and Scott goes, and maybe a deal is done for Sancho. The window closes really soon. It's the end of August.
Mm-hmm.
So it's feels like it finishes a little early this year. And we also had the European draw on Thursday. Looking forward to that one.
Yeah, I am.
It's so convoluted that the computer has to do it, and they don't have people pulling balls out of bags anymore. So,
well,
there you go.
Yeah.
Enjoy that one. All right, everyone. Thank you very much. Speak to you soon. Bye now.